Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Beyond the Gates channel. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and hit like for more daily drama updates and spoilers. Your support truly means a lot and helps our channel grow every day. Now let's jump straight into today's exciting update. In 2025, Beyond the Gates became more than just a new soap opera. It became the obsession of the daytime television world. The CBS drama arrived with a surge of passion, scandal, heartbreak, and emotional intensity that reignited interest in the entire soap genre. Week after week, viewers found themselves pulled into the lives of the Duprees, the Richardsons, and every character caught in the storm of secrets and betrayals. As the daytime Emmy season approached, many fans and critics agreed that Beyond the Gates was no longer simply a newcomer. It was a serious contender for Outstanding Drama Series. But beyond the show itself, a remarkable group of performers emerged as potential first-time nominees, delivering unforgettable performances that left audiences talking long after each episode ended. One of the brightest stars at the center of that excitement was Carla Mosley. As Danny Dupree, Mosley created a character who was fiery, glamorous, vulnerable, and devastatingly human all at once. Danny's world shattered when her husband, Bill, abandoned her for Haley, and what followed became one of the most gripping emotional journeys of the year. Mosley captured the rage of a woman betrayed with electrifying intensity, making every confrontation feel like an explosion waiting to happen. Yet beneath Danny's sharp words and fierce determination was the unmistakable pain of a wife whose heart had been broken by the man she trusted most. The actress peeled back layer after layer of Danny's anger to reveal grief, humiliation, loneliness, and desperation. And viewers watched in heartbreak as Danny turned to alcohol in an attempt to numb the pain of her collapsing marriage. For many fans, those scenes were impossible to forget, and after being overlooked for her groundbreaking work as Maya on The Bold and the Beautiful, Mosley finally seemed poised to receive the recognition she had long deserved. By the end of the year, many considered her Beyond the Gates Performer of the Year, and a first daytime Emmy nomination felt not only possible, but overdue. Another powerful force behind the show's success was Tamara Tunie, whose return to daytime television as Anita Dupree marked a triumphant homecoming. The former, as the world-turned star, brought elegance, authority, and emotional depth to the Dupree matriarch, portraying a woman who held her family together even as old wounds threatened to tear her apart. Anita's carefully maintained composure began to crack when former members of the Articulettes, Sharon and Tracy, re-entered her life and forced her to confront a painful chapter she had tried to leave behind. Tunie delivered a masterclass in emotional storytelling as Anita revisited the group's rise to fame, the devastating breakup that followed, and the haunting possibility that her own actions may have contributed to Barbara's death. Every memory carried the weight of decades of regret, and Tunie allowed Anita's buried anger and sorrow to pour out with breathtaking honesty. The performance reminded viewers that even a woman who appears to have built a beautiful life can still carry profound scars beneath the surface. And just when Anita seemed to regain her footing, another crushing blow arrived. The revelation that she had breast cancer. The shocking diagnosis closed out 2025 on a heartbreaking note, and for an actress who had never received a daytime Emmy nomination despite an extraordinary career, this role suddenly looked like the one that could finally change that. Meanwhile, Amber Michelle emerged as one of the show's most exciting breakout stars through her portrayal of Eva. Her storyline became a central pillar of Beyond the Gates, as Eva discovered that Ted was her biological father. Drawn into her mother Leslie's revenge scheme, Eva infiltrated the Richardson family with the intention of helping destroy Ted and Nicole. But what began as a calculated plan slowly unraveled when she formed genuine emotional connections with both of them. Michelle navigated Eva's inner conflict with remarkable nuance, allowing viewers to see a young woman torn between loyalty to the mother who raised her and a growing attachment to the family she was never supposed to love. The struggle between Ava's better instincts and the darker path laid out before her became increasingly painful to watch. Then came the devastating fallout when her paternity was finally exposed, leaving Ava caught between two worlds and belonging fully to neither. One of the year's saddest moments arrived when she returned home after the anniversary party, only to discover that her own mother had locked her out. The image of Eva standing outside, abandoned and alone, encapsulated the tragedy of a young woman who had lost both the family she knew and the family she hoped to gain. With a performance that balanced vulnerability, guilt, longing, and resilience, Michelle quickly established herself as one of the show's standout discoveries, making her a strong contender for the emerging talent category. And at the center of one of the biggest soap opera moments of 2025 stood Daphne du Plessis as Nicole Richardson. Nicole and Ted's anniversary celebration was meant to be a picture-perfect evening, a public affirmation of a marriage that appeared strong and enduring. Instead, the event exploded into chaos when Leslie crashed the ceremony and exposed Ted's hidden secrets. The revelation instantly became one of Beyond the Gates' most talked-about scenes, and du Plessis delivered an emotional performance that carried the full weight of the betrayal. Viewers watched Nicole move through a storm of emotions: confusion, disbelief, hurt, denial, fury, as the truth about her husband unraveled in front of family, friends, and the entire community. Du Plessis made every reaction feel painfully real, allowing the audience to experience the shock alongside Nicole. Yet the performance became even more powerful in the aftermath when Nicole chose strength over denial and made the agonizing decision to divorce Ted. Rather than collapse under the betrayal, she confronted the reality of her marriage with dignity and courage, revealing a woman determined to reclaim her self-respect no matter the cost. That heartbreaking journey transformed Nicole into one of the year's most compelling characters, and many believed du Plessis had positioned herself as a serious contender for a first-ever Daytime Emmy nomination in the Supporting Actress category. Together, these performances captured everything that made Beyond the Gates such a phenomenon in 2025. Carla Mosley's shattered yet defiant Danny, Tamara Tooney's haunted and resilient Anita, Ambir Michelle's conflicted and abandoned Eva, and Daphne du Plessis' betrayed but unbroken Nicole, each represented a different facet of the show's emotional power. Their stories were filled with love, betrayal, regret, family, and survival, the very elements that keep soap opera audiences captivated year after year. As the Daytime Emmy race drew closer, the excitement surrounding Beyond the Gates continued to grow, fueled not only by the show's success, but by the possibility that several of its stars might finally receive the recognition their extraordinary performances had earned. Whether through fiery confrontations, heartbreaking revelations, or moments of quiet devastation, these actors transformed Beyond the Gates into one of the most unforgettable daytime dramas of the year, and their Emmy chances became a reflection of just how deeply the show had connected with viewers. Although these four actresses stood at the forefront of the awards conversation, their performances also represented something much bigger than individual achievements. They symbolized the remarkable creative momentum that Beyond the Gates generated during its breakthrough year. Every emotional confrontation, every family secret, and every devastating revelation was elevated by a cast that refused to settle for surface-level drama. Instead, they infused every storyline with emotional authenticity, allowing audiences to see not just the scandals unfolding on screen, but the broken hearts, impossible choices, and complicated human emotions hidden beneath them. It was this commitment to layered storytelling that transformed the series from simply another daytime drama into one of television's most talked-about success stories. For Carla Mosley, the journey toward possible Emmy recognition carried an especially meaningful sense of redemption. Fans had never forgotten the emotional complexity she brought to Maya on The Bold and the Beautiful, a groundbreaking role that many believed deserved far greater awards recognition. That disappointment lingered for years, making her performance as Danny Dupree feel almost like a second chance to showcase everything she could do as an actress. Throughout the year, Danny evolved from a woman consumed by rage into someone desperately trying to piece together a shattered identity after losing the life she believed would last forever. Every episode peeled back another emotional layer, revealing not only her heartbreak, but also her resilience. Even in Danny's darkest moments, when alcohol became her escape from unbearable loneliness, Mosley never allowed the character to become one-dimensional. Instead, she portrayed a woman desperately fighting to reclaim her dignity while wrestling with emotions that threatened to consume her completely. That emotional honesty resonated deeply with viewers, making Danny's pain feel painfully real rather than simply another soap opera storyline. Tamara Tunie's performance carried a different kind of emotional power, rooted not in explosive confrontations, but in years of carefully buried memories finally demanding to be acknowledged. Anita Dupree had always projected confidence, wisdom, and quiet authority, serving as the emotional foundation of her family. Yet the return of Sharon and Tracy forced Anita to revisit a chapter of her life she had spent years trying to leave behind. As memories of the Articulettes resurfaced, so too did the guilt she carried over Barbara's tragic fate. Tunie portrayed those scenes with remarkable restraint, allowing every pause, every trembling expression, and every tear to communicate decades of regret that words alone could never express. Viewers watched Anita struggle with the realization that success had come with devastating consequences, and the emotional weight of those memories became almost unbearable. Then, just as she began confronting the ghosts of her past, another life-changing tragedy arrived with her breast cancer diagnosis. The devastating revelation reminded audiences that even the strongest people can face battles they never anticipated, adding yet another heartbreaking dimension to Anita's unforgettable journey. Amber Michelle's breakout performance as Eva became one of the show's greatest emotional surprises because her story constantly challenged viewers' expectations. At first, Eva appeared to be simply another participant in Leslie's elaborate revenge plot, willing to manipulate the Richardson family for the sake of vengeance. But as the months unfolded, the audience witnessed a profound internal transformation. Spending time with Ted and Nicole shattered the image Leslie had painted of them, forcing Ava to question everything she believed about her own identity and her mother's motivations. Michelle captured that emotional conflict with extraordinary subtlety, portraying a young woman trapped between the life she had always known and the family she had unexpectedly begun to love. Every decision became more painful than the last, because no matter which path Eva chose, someone she cared about would inevitably be hurt. That impossible dilemma reached its heartbreaking climax after Ted's secret became public and everything collapsed around her. The unforgettable image of Eva returning home, only to find herself locked out by the very mother she had sacrificed so much to protect, perfectly captured the tragedy of losing everything in a single devastating moment. It was a heartbreaking conclusion to one chapter of Eva's story, while opening the door to an uncertain future filled with emotional scars that would undoubtedly shape everything that came next. Daphne du Plessis, meanwhile, delivered one of the year's most emotionally satisfying performances by showing Nicole Richardson's remarkable transformation in the aftermath of betrayal. The anniversary celebration had been planned as a joyful milestone, a public celebration of enduring love and commitment. Instead, Leslie's shocking interruption destroyed the illusion Nicole had been living, exposing painful truths before the eyes of everyone she loved. Du Plessis masterfully portrayed the emotional shock of discovering that the man she trusted most had built their marriage upon devastating secrets. Her performance never rushed through Nicole's emotional journey. Instead, viewers experienced every painful stage alongside her, from disbelief to heartbreak, from desperate denial to simmering anger, and ultimately to acceptance. Yet perhaps the most inspiring aspect of Nicole's story was what happened after the tears stopped falling. Rather than allowing betrayal to define her future, Nicole found the strength to walk away from the marriage, choosing self-respect over comfort and truth over illusion. It was an emotionally empowering conclusion that resonated deeply with audiences, proving that even the most devastating heartbreak can become the beginning of a new chapter built on courage rather than compromise. As conversations surrounding the upcoming Daytime Emmy Awards continued to grow, one thing became increasingly clear. Beyond the Gates had accomplished something few new daytime dramas ever achieve. It had not only captured viewers' attention, but had also created performances worthy of standing alongside the very best the genre had to offer. Every major storyline delivered emotional highs and devastating lows, but it was the extraordinary dedication of its cast that transformed those scripts into unforgettable television. Whether portraying betrayal, grief, forgiveness, or resilience, these actors consistently elevated every scene with authenticity and emotional truth. Their performances reminded audiences why soap operas continue to hold such a unique place in television history, offering stories that embrace the full spectrum of human emotion without apology. By the time award season arrived, Beyond the Gates was no longer simply the exciting newcomer everyone had been talking about months earlier. It had firmly established itself as one of daytime television's defining success stories of 2025. The possibility of multiple first-time Daytime Emmy nominations reflected not only the incredible talent of Carla Mosley, Tamara Tooney, Ambir Michelle, and Daphne Duplay, but also the remarkable impact the series had made in such a short time. Their unforgettable performances gave viewers characters they could celebrate, sympathize with, cry for, and cheer on through every triumph and tragedy. And regardless of how many trophies the show ultimately took home, one thing had already been decided in the hearts of countless fans. Beyond the Gates had breathed new life into daytime drama, proving that powerful storytelling, unforgettable performances, and deeply emotional characters could still captivate audiences and leave a lasting mark on the world of soap operas.